Welcome to Channel EMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrate to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on a little bell on the side, so once we have all the news and updates just like today, you'll be the first one of getting all the insight. Now today, I think it's possibly half an hour ago, I've received an update from the government of Victoria in regards to its state nomination program under the subclass 190. So obviously there has been enormous inquiries and people asking in regards to whether their chances to get nominated, their chances to actually get invited to become a permanent resident of Australia. So as you know, the state government of Victoria has actually revamped the whole state nomination criteria into target sector. I believe it's focusing a way how it restructure towards how they utilize for the global talent independent. However, it's not focusing on getting those global talents, but they're focusing on those general skill migrants. So let's jump in there and have a look at what sort of EOI points that you require to actually get the state of Victoria to actually invite and nominate you. Alright, so as you see, this information came it's on the 31st, so it's just right before September. So let me read it and express what's actually saying in here, and at the end of this video I'll provide a summary of and how I view of this message and how that will actually be utilized to predict and estimate the future. And that's predominantly how a lot of other subscribers actually does. They watch my video so they know what's currently offered in Australia and what is coming up, or potentially predicted what's coming up. So today, the skill migration update ROI, this is registration of interest selection for Melbourne, which is the state of Victoria, for the skill and business migration update. The first 170 invitation to apply for subclass 190. Now that's one key. Now 170. Now today's the 31st of August, so it's already 2 months since the beginning of the new financial year. That means 2 months we only got 170. Now that is extremely low in consider it's a immigration quota being used by the state government of Victoria. So if we compile that to make it into an yearly figure, that's just possibly above 1,000. That's extremely low, considering that the state of Victoria is considerably a large state compared to a second largest state for migrants, and the first one obviously is New South Wales and Queensland. So that will actually tell us that the annual quota for 2021 and 22 potentially and possibly would not meet that requirement of that mark of 160,000. So that's, I can almost guarantee on that one, because if you can see, I've been receiving so many queries and comment that the EOI and things have been waiting for ages, and they're not opening for offshore applicants, and obviously due to the current COVID situation in Sydney and Melbourne. So again, it's a unfortunate answer. However, that will actually push the nation of Australia to actually open up its opportunity sooner, so we can see that what's happening with the Qantas. They are looking and planned to actually open the international flights by the end of the year before Christmas. So let's have a look at what is coming up and what information here tells us. So now that's considered very low, and sent to successful candidate last week. So that is it's not a very good figure. It's still very tiny little. So the first 170 invitation applied to 190 nominated for 2021-22 program was sent. So finally, but that's still very low number. This invitation were sent to the best candidate work in 6 different sectors, whilst the health sector did feature strongly. Well, obviously because the state of Victoria requires more of the health professional due to its the public health, well, not crisis, but situations, I should say. Since last year until today, there's still lockdown, and people living in Victoria and Melbourne is angered about this. But what can they do? So they need more health profession there. So 62% of invitation was sent to Canada working in the other sector. So that means the health sector actually cover almost 40%. So let's look into a different sector and what its points required with the lowest today. So advanced manufacturing. So that's let's have a look. It's more technical people. So mechanical engineer, engineering technologist, electrical engineer, and they require at least 95 points. That's the lowest that they got. So again, that's what I'm saying. After reading through and analyzing through the Victoria's state nomination, I can tell that it's not really a favorable state to consider as a migrant, because first of all, you can see here the point is considerably still very high, and they only invite a very low number of candidates. That makes it the candidate very hard to actually find. I'm not too sure why they do that. I believe they had a lot more quota to be used, but who knows? That's re-on and goes on, and perhaps a lot of these quota has been used for 491. Who knows? If you got 491, leave a comment right down below and let us know that how sooner you actually got your invitation there. So agri-food, there's food technologist, and 90 points, the lowest. Mechanical engineer, engineering technology. So you can see that most of the technical people in profession is actually been beneficial for the state criteria of Victoria. And health sector, minimum 90 point. Now that's very high. Now that means you probably need a lot of working experiences, and also your English required to meet superior, which is equivalent to IELTS 8 across 4 bands. Medical practitioner, so that's doctor. You get doctor, you get more points. Resident medical officer, physiotherapist, and OT, occupational therapist. Life sciences, 95 point, extremely high. So that include teacher, secondary teacher, food technologist, chemical engineer, medical research, 90 points, software engineer. So I think that's more towards how the software has been utilized for the medical field. Biomedical engineer, industrial engineer, and life sciences, NEC, and new energy emission reduction and circular economy, 95 points. Electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, developer programmers. So you can see most of these occupations being invited and nominated under the state of Victoria are predominantly all the technical people, and it's all on the technology or engineering side. Hardly there's a teacher there. Well, obviously health is all the medical people. Other than that, most of them are all technical. So we can see how the state of Victoria had pivoted for their skill selection for their migrants. Please note that candidate considering to be outstanding talent may have less than lower points stated. Well, I'm not too sure how they define outstanding talent. If you were selected to apply Victorian visa nomination, you do not need to. If you are not selected, you do not need to resubmit an ROI again. We'll continue to select ROI submitted in each sector from July 2021 onwards over the remaining program year. Subclass 491 ROI are currently being assessed, with the first group of invitation expected the coming weeks. That means the people with 491, hopefully there will be an upcoming news for 491 result as well. So that's an update for the state of Victoria. And what is your thought? Well, personally, I think the Australian government, for its general skill migration, will miss its target of 160,000 by the end of the year. That's June 30th of 2022. I think we're likely to miss that target straight from the numbers that we see in Victoria. If you wanted to migrate through general skill migration in Victoria, it's not impossible, but you need to be very, very bright. What is your thought? I'd like to leave a comment right down below, and I see you next video. Goodbye.